There's a protest happening tonight. And this is something that's very important to note. Not at the protest. My wife is concerned about protests. You know why? She said that, I guess she learned this from her parents, that you don't go to the protest because it's just a way for them to know who to arrest. What is she talking about? It's like the Maoist thing that happened in mid 1950s, Maoist China, communist revolution. So that was pretty bad. We talked about communism and Animal Farm earlier today. What did they do? Mao basically said, you know what? We're going to build it too repressive. Let 100 flowers bloom. It's a poem, a Chinese poem. Basically said, let people actually have freedom to express their ideas. So for like a year, he let people have, freedom of speech, and, things got a lot less repressive. And a year after that, they realized, okay, who are all the dissidents who came out and said stuff against the government and all that stuff? We're going to crack it on them and kill them, or send them away to the concentration camps, the gulags. So it was a trick. It was like what happened in Soviet Russia, glasnost and perestroika, but instead they used it against everybody. So that's basically what you have to hear now. If you go and protest for, we want to build the Beis Hamikdash now, it just shows the regime who you are. Like all the people who've been very vocal for these things, what are happening to them? They're throwing them in jail, right? So you don't do these things, okay? But seriously, I think this is a wonderful thing to do. The protest tonight, advocating for if they could refurbish the Beis Hamikdash in Maccabean times. What's stopping us now? Adarabah, what does it say? This thing I was hoping for in Gaza, that even if the Americans and whoever in some military establishment are not going to let the Jews have victory in Gaza, the bad guys are going to hold it back so much we're going to be forced to destroy them and do what we have to do. Where does it say this? That this would happen with Sichon and Og. Moshe Rabbeinu is leading Am Yisrael through the wilderness to get to Eretz Canaan. They don't want to go through the south because of Amalek's there, so they're going to go east, and then they're going to go north. So they have to pass Edom, Ammon, and Moab. And what does God say about all these people? Don't attack them. You are not to them. You ask them permission to go through their land, or go around them. That's what happened with Edom and Ammon and Moab. And then God tells Moshe Rabbeinu, you're approaching the eastern side of the of the Jordan River. That's ruled by Sichon. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, send messengers, Sichon, I want to pass through your land. God told him, and here's what Moshe Rabbeinu says. Moshe Rabbeinu describes his encounter with Sichon after Sichon rejected Moshe Rabbeinu's messengers. Sichon, the king of Cheshbon, didn't let us pass through his territory. Okay? God did to Sichon what he did to Paro. He hardened his heart. He also gave him strength. He made it rucho. So God hardened Pharaoh's heart. But here it says he hardened his spirit, and he made it livavo. He gave him the courage to go out and fight. In order to deliver him into your hand. That's how the Bnei Yisrael beat Sichon.
Why didn't the Sam do that also to the Tzidon?
To the Tzidon? Which Tzidon? What are you talking about? For when?
In Dan's time, where they didn't fight the Tzidon, because the Tzidon didn't want to fight.
No, so they didn't need to. They were conquering Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah,
so that was a mitzvah. No, he didn't need to. It says, by the way, that there were in Sefer Yeshua, there are many kings of the Canaanites. Yeshua did actually offer peace. Remember, he sent Mechtavim, and it says that God basically brought about that these kings, when there was two major battles described in Sefer Yeshua of kings in the south who all ganged up against Yeshua. They're like realizing we have to unite because we're going to get killed. It says God basically tricked them into this. Right? God gave them the strength. My point is over here that God brought about Sichon being so foolish to attack Am Yisrael that Am Yisrael is forced to destroy him and take all his land. So that's basically what's going to be happening now. Even though we don't want to fight, we've been pushed into this. So what is the enemy saying? This is the funniest thing. Am Yisrael has been forced into a war where the enemy is doing all the worstest things. Right? There's nothing to do, and they're saying it's Lama'an what? Lama'an Harabayis, Lama'an Al-Aqsa, Mabul Al-Aqsa. That's what they were calling it. And we're not going to fight them and say, oh, we don't realize what we're fighting about. We're not going to destroy them and say, we'll take it all. If you see that this is what your enemy is trying to deprive from you, take away your land, your lives, and your Beis Hamikdash, then perhaps you should be fighting for it. But not only that, the worstest people here in Israel are parroting, let's say, our worst enemies in America, who say that this type of march is a provocation. The people who are against the Shavuos always say, can't provoke the Goyim. That has to be the most fundamentally foolish thing you could say at a time like this. We don't want to do anything to provoke the bad guys. Have they been around for the last 2 months? The bad guys didn't need this so-called provocation to attack us. They attacked Israel. They destroyed cities. They killed not millions, thousands of people, right? Kidnapped everybody else. Don't have a march. Don't say you want the Beis Hamikdash back, because God knows how much bad they're going to be to you if you provoke them. They need provocations. The Iranians need provocations. Hezbollah needs provocations. The Houthis need provocations. The Jordanians and the Egyptians, who are doing all these military maneuvers right across our borders, they're going to see, oh, we marched now, we say we want a Beis Hamikdash. Now they're going to be upset at us? Oh, that's like the type people say, you have to watch out. The Germans, if we hadn't provoked Nazi Germany, there wouldn't have been a Holocaust. Can you imagine how bad it would have been if there had been the state of Israel before the Holocaust? That would have upset the Germans even more. They would have Holocausted us twice. Foolish. The Goyim don't need a provocation. They tried to kill you months ago. They're still trying to kill you. La'ir Yapid, may he go away soon, speedily in our days, said this foolish thing. This is a provocation. Jews on Hanukkah demanding that we have another Hanukkah that they're celebrating. Does anybody celebrate Hanukkah around here, like I said? It seems no one understands Hanukkah anymore. Even so-called national religious rabbis, Zionist rabbis, modern Orthodox rabbis don't understand the lessons of Hanukkah. Okay? No, they don't. They completely, we've already said this, they're completely detached from the lessons of Hanukkah. Their ideologies and their ashkafas and their psak is detached from the lessons of Hanukkah. Everybody's detached from Hanukkah nowadays. There's only a few. What? Yetznikim? I don't even know. I don't know. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Fine. The people running the place, the establishment. Yeah. My point is, this is not a provocation. And not only that, the Goyim need a problem. Where have they been? Now we're gonna upset the Goyim. Who knows? If we were to have a march on the temple and try to rebuild the temple, maybe the American regime will threaten to not give us military aid. Maybe people will threaten us in all sorts of ways. Maybe they'll even attack us. They are attacking us. Okay, so ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. So I hope that this time around also the bad guys have had their hearts hardened so much that we will have no choice. Even the Jews who don't want to destroy Gaza and take it over, God willing, and other places also. There's many other places much closer to home, full of our enemies, who would do whatever they could to destroy us. You should know that. You know what's going on right outside this yeshuv. Okay, a Shabbos walk outside this yeshuv will bring you to a place where your enemies are heavily armed and would just love to overrun this yeshuv and kill you. Right? It's the fact. So we would hope that God has brought it into their hands that to bring about their own destruction. Their cherev, charbam tavo b'libam. That's what's happening basically. Go ahead, do what you need to do.